So first up, I'd like to introduce Dan Stanton, again, editor of the BioProcess Insider, and David Kenyon, who's the Senior Director, Global Scientific and Technical Affairs at Patheon Biologics.
Dave, you've just announced a $50 million investment at your site in Missouri. Effectively, it's going to double your biomanufacturing capacity. What drove that investment?
So we're seeing throughout our network an increase in capacity needs for biologic products, both in the U.S. and in our network overseas. So this is about a 65,000 square foot addition that will help us to supply the market and serve our customers' needs going forward.
And this is, I think it's 16,000 litres of single-use bioreactor capacity. To what extent has the advent of single-use allowed Patheon to really shine in the bioproduction space?
So the single-use technology is really the key to being able to supply a variety of products to the market, meeting customers' needs. We have a lot of customers now who are looking at novel therapies for unmet needs. Having the single-use capability allows you to switch over very quickly. It allows you to scale up and down as the market demand changes. It allows us to make sure that we're assuring ourselves that we have a very low risk of cross-contamination, because when you're done with the single-use items, you just fold them up and throw them away. So you don't have to worry about contamination of stainless steel surfaces or things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, there are still certain limitations surrounding single use. A biopharma firm or biotech looking to go towards commercial production, it's still limited as far as doing that for a large volume product, right?
Yeah, I think normally for getting products launched, it's very, very good. You're right that there is a sort of a crossover point when you're into commercial manufacturing. Maybe if you have a really huge demand for like a blockbuster product, where you have you need a larger and larger footprint or more and more production batches, there may be a point where there's a crossover economic value to stainless steel versus single use. But more and more we see customers and CMOs going with the single use out of the box.
Yeah, it does seem to be a good way of getting into the biomanufacturing space for some CMOs that have been traditionally small molecule, for example. But I mean, to what degree, to what extent was last year's acquisition of Patheon by Thermo Fisher, an equipment vendor, what extent did that give Patheon a bit of a competitive advantage over some of its competitors?
So as standalone, we were doing okay with meeting the market demand. But now, as part of Thermo Fisher Scientific, Thermo Fisher Scientific has a broad support for the market across the industry. So whether it's analytical complexities or diagnostics or now pharma services, there's a much stronger infrastructure. It gives us as Patheon a huge reservoir of resources in terms of technology, in terms of subject matter experts, in terms of meeting the market demand, and also in terms of just general support in the industry.
What about, for example, the new investment in Missouri? Surely having Thermo Fisher behind you when you're adding a number of 2,000 litre single-use bioreactors, surely that's going to give you some sort of cost competitive advantage over others. I mean, I'm not sure if you're able to tell me whether those bioreactors will be supplied by your parent company, Thermo Fisher, or not.
So yeah, I think part of this expansion will be that we're going to use both of our suppliers, but we will have Thermo Fisher reactors in that space. We're also going to do what's called a smart factory, which allows us to gather data throughout the production process in a very quick and efficient manner so that we can process the data coming from the production floor very easily. And so we'll be using those advantages in this construction.
And there's no sort of pushback from some of your customers or future customers worried that maybe they can't take some of their later stage products to you because they've been using different pieces of equipment, different vendor supplied equipment.
No, I mean, I think you do see some of that, but we've been very successful in moving clients from even glass reactors to initially single-use reactors, and now moving across the different reactor systems. So whether you want to be in a particular reactor or not, we have been able to compensate for that.
Okay, so looking forward, are there any further plans for expansion of your network, of your capabilities or capacity?
Sure. There's always future plans for expansion, right? I mean, it's funny. We've also expanded the process development center, and every time we've expanded it, we've expanded 2 or 3 times over the last 4 years, and every time we say, well, this will be enough space and enough needs, right? But we always find that as customer needs grow, we're going to keep pace with that, whether it's in the development or in the clinical or commercial manufacturing space. And so we have, the facilities around the world, the 3 manufacturing sites, and so we've expanded all 3 in the recent years, and going forward we'll expand as the demand comes up.
Are there any specific areas that you feel Patheon may be lacking in? I mean, there's lots of investment in cell and gene therapies, for example, from CMOs, and to my knowledge, Patheon hasn't delved into that area as of yet.
Yeah, I think you'll see, the Thermo Fisher organization is looking at new therapies, new ways to treat unmet needs, and over the course of time, I think you'll see some additional support for different types of modalities that are coming available.
Fantastic. Okay. I guess my last question is, you're really pushing the quick to clinic strategy, the quick to clinic service. Could you very briefly give me an overview of what that is?
Sure. So, we're seeing both from a statistical point of view in what's published from FDA in terms of the volume of work that they're seeing, and also in the field, what we hear from clients is that for these first-in-human trials, there's a very strong need to increase the pace and accelerate these products going into first-in-human trials. And so after a lot of thoughtful interaction with our clients and people in the field, we've been able to devise a program that takes advantage of the Thermo Fisher relationship now, streamline the supply chain, and we're able to make a very exciting offering in first-in-human trials for 2 classes of common monoclonal antibodies.
So I guess to go full circle and go back to the Missouri site, how would your investments there, not necessarily into the 16,000 litres, but how would that support this whole quick to clinic service?
So the quick to clinic service does include GMP manufacturing, so you have to make the clinical material, and so that would be made within the facility, either at St. Louis or one of the other bio sites, but for now we're going to start with the St. Louis site. So it will add to the capacity needs, and we expect to be able to fulfill that demand very easily.
Okay, Dave, thank you so much for speaking to me. We do have literally a couple of minutes if there is any pressing, urgent question from anyone. If not, then yeah, Dave, thanks again.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Very good.
Pleasure.